The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
All right, time for a fact to deliver on our promise to give you the fact that makes your brain go. So men are most concerned about what this body part smells like. And, of course, there's a lot of inappropriate answers on the text line. I'll just use the one that I think is radio-friendly. Someone said chub. The chub.
Well, okay, I guess that is a body part.
Yeah, I mean, it's also kind of a state for a man. Sorry, Kara. I'm really sorry you're sitting in this week for Kenzie at this point.
I'm glad I am.
Yeah, sure. We had some first-time texter, Debbie, check in and say mustache.
Yeah.
You care about how your mustache? You notice your mustache when it smells bad, Case?
I can see that if food gets stuck into it.
Yeah, but I'm not a monster. I don't have food get stuck in my mustache.
I think a lot of people do.
Yeah.
Okay, but I don't, so I'm not
You
worried
ever heard
about
of
it.
milk mustache? I mean,
I don't drink
it could
milk,
be
though.
your mustache and your mustache.
Yeah, a little Mountain Dew mustache.
Clearly not drinking milk.
Robert in Chicago says the back of your ears, like if you take your finger and you rub behind your ear and you smell your finger, if it stinks, it's,
Yeah.
I've never, mine doesn't smell.
I've stuck my finger in my mouth before one time.
I bet you have. Where else did you stick your finger, Brian?
Oh, well, I'm not going to talk about that. No, but I stuck it down my throat. I had a scratch in my throat. I scratched on the outside, and it wasn't working, so I scratched on the inside.
Did you make yourself puke? That's how you...
I wasn't trying to make myself puke, but I remember pulling my finger out after touching, like, way deep in my throat, and
Ew.
it smelled, like, really bad. My breath didn't smell, but my deep throat smelled.
Is that right,
In
Brian?
the cavern.
Is that right? Your deep throat smell.
In the cavern, it smelled.
Uh-huh.
My finger was disgusting.
That's really gross.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I went and gargled after that.
Can I see you stick your finger down your deep throat again?
I mean, I went deep.
Oh, that's what I heard about you.
Like, I went...
Wasn't one of your radio names No Gag Reflex?
Oh, that's it. That's my metal show I do. No gag reflex. So all the guesses came through, and that's not true. Belly button was another one.
Oh, yeah.
I can see that.
Stick your finger in there.
I love digging through my belly button.
Oh, it feels good.
Yeah.
Here's a tip, by the way. Again, before we get to this fact that makes your brain go. If you're a guy, I don't think this affects ladies, because guys stand to pee, right? And if you're having a problem, sometimes it just doesn't get going right away. I'm not saying you maybe have a prostate issue. Stick your finger in your belly button and pull up. You will pee easier.
Okay.
I know you can't really do that, Kara, when you're sitting down. It's kind of hard. I don't think it'll work for women.
Okay.
You can try it.
I mean, right now I'm putting my finger in my belly button and lifting. It doesn't make me feel.
Well, don't pee in here. Jeez. Damn, Kara.
We invite you in as a guest. You pee in our studio?
I mean, it's kind of fair.
Just
I get
marking
it.
my territory.
Yeah. Okay, so the thing that men are most worried about smelling bad is their hands.
Well, considering where you're sticking your fingers, I can see why.
Unlike me, but 26% of Chicagoans say that's their most worrisome thing because where it smells like sweat, dirt, or something else they just picked up, and they don't like using enough like lilac soap. Men don't like using that, I guess. Everybody else is on the pump soap. I'm a bar soap guy.
Yeah.
I am bar with ivory soap. It cleans the hands really good. You probably use pump, Case. You're a pump guy.
Yeah, I am a pump guy. What's it to you?
I use both, but I prefer the pump.
You use a bar still?
There's one in the shower, yep. Because I ran out of the pump today, in fact. I'm like, oh, God, I use this bar.
Just a backup?
Yeah.
Okay. But I don't know, that's what it comes down to. The average man uses 3 hygiene products, deodorant and a body wash and shampoo. And because of those 3 things, not necessarily focusing on the hands, I guess, at some point. I don't know. It just seems weird that they're thinking about their hands. But I snip my hand. Smells pretty good.
All I'm thinking is men need to wash their hands more.
I'm a big washer.
I'm not. I fully admit it's not that my hands are gross, but I also could wash my hands way more than I do.
Do you wash your hands when you get in the house? Instantly, the first thing you do?
No.
Oh, God.
I don't. I mean,
Chicago's dirty.
Yeah.
I never think about that.
I only did that in 2020.
Yeah, exactly. That 2020 was peak hand washing for me.
Yeah.
Well, that's in the past. Let's talk about now.
I know, now, no.
No,
Yeah.
I'm not doing that.
Dude, you take the train and the bus every day.
Yeah, exactly. I keep my hands to myself, though.
God, when I get off the red line, I go home like a surgeon.
Yeah.
And I wash up to my shoulders. Megan goes, "What are you doing?" I come out there, oh, God.
No, and I understand what I'm about to say is scientifically wrong, but in my head, it's always like, oh, well, germs are just on the last thing that I touched. So if I touched the red line, that's gross. But then if I touch something else, then I just have those germs, not the red line germs.
No, that's calling spreading germs.
I know. The logic is wrong, but it's the logic I use.
What we've learned here is Case started COVID.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Brian and Kenzie.
On Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101. And yes, we are 12 minutes away roughly from just before 8 o'clock, where we'll have a song scramble for you to figure out the songs. And then you go to Lollapalooza. All the bands are playing at Lollapalooza. So we'll get that for you coming up in a second. First, it is Head to Headlines, where you choose what story we talk about. You choose the content. And this has been a barn burner. That's why we had to kind of, keep getting more votes in.
Yeah, it's close.
It's like 50-50 pretty much, but we'll get the final results in a second. Head to headlines. So headline number 1 was, a dad called the cops because his son had too much homework. I have audio of this story. Headline number 2 was, a real estate agent was showing a house and accidentally burned it down.
Too bad.
It's too bad. Now, we'll never talk about the other story again. And the story we're never going to hear more about is the real estate agent.
Oh,
I
man.
know.
That's good because it was going to give me nightmares.
Yeah. Kara does this as a side hustle.
Yeah.
Maybe some people felt, just very small margin, that they know the story by the headline. So it doesn't matter how they accidentally burn it down.
Do you think more people voted for today's head to headlines than they did in yesterday's primaries?
I do.
1,000%.
Yeah, a lot of votes on the text line. I don't know about the actual election yesterday.
Yeah. Well, this is certainly more fun.
I agree.
I
This
hope
was
so.
a good experience. Voting is a bad experience. Head to headlines is a good one.
Yeah.
Well, here we go. Dad called the cops because his son had too much homework. Now, a 37-year-old man from Ohio. Wow. Okay, I'm just reading that right now because when you hear the audio, it does not sound like a 37-year-old man. It sounds like a 77-year-old man. Wow. Because we all learned the story together here on the show. He's facing harassment charges after he kept calling his son's elementary school to complain about them giving his kid too much homework. When they stopped picking up, he called the cops 18 times.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's like a crazy ex-girlfriend.
Yeah.
I know. Now, Kara actually agrees with this man.
I don't agree that he should call the cops. I just agree that kids get too much homework.
What is too much homework? Isn't it good to keep a kid occupied? Because Harper's
Not if they're on a hockey team. There's no time.
Okay, so you wanted him to get a scholarship.
Maybe. No, but I mean, they give homework in like elementary school. It just seems a little much to me.
I don't think you, Brian, as a parent to an 18-month-old almost, I don't think you're ready for what's to come.
Yeah.
They're going to get homework in preschool. They're going to get homework in kindergarten. You're not ready for this. And I've seen the way you deal with some stressful situations. I don't think you're ready to complete a child's homework assignment.
Well, don't they all get iPads today?
They do. My kids
Yeah, but
did.
you can't finagle that thing.
Yeah.
Well, they can't.
Oh, that's true. They were kind of born into it now.
Harper flips my phone right now already and knows how to hit apps and knows how to hit Miss Rachel and tells me to advance the video.
Well, you better hide that Amazon app. She might be doing some shopping.
I'm telling you. I mean, she's just going like, little dictator.
She's not talking yet?
No, she says some words.
What she
Says mama. She goes when it's dinner time.
That's fun.
That's her.
She got that from you.
Yes, she did. All right, back to the headline. A dad called the cops because his son had too much homework. So he was 37 years old. His name is Adam Sizemore. He's facing charges after calling the son's school because he's getting too much homework. He called the elementary school over and over on February 29th, and on March 1st, to say his son had, from those times, by the way, to say his son had too much homework, and they didn't have time to hang out.
That's nice.
It is.
Think about all the bad dads out there who don't want to hang out with their kids. That's kind of beautiful.
Yeah.
To Kara's point, are you going to remember what you learned in this homework anyway down the road?
But he'll remember time with Dad.
A little playing catch in the backyard? Oh, my God. I'm going to cry.
We just found some of Case's trauma here from his
I
childhood.
had plenty of time with my dad, but I loved it. I wish everybody had as good of a dad as I did.
It really is important to spend time with the kid. Now, it's also important that they have homework and have occupations and learn that.
Good take. It's important to spend time with your kid.
Yeah, thank you. I'm joining the Parental Council of Illinois to talk about things and what you should do.
Thank you.
At the same time, the kid has to learn that he can't just hang out with you when he's 30 at home living in the basement. Got to do homework to get a job someday and pay for things. Sorry to be a buzzkill on this one.
It really was.
And The problem is this dad that sounds like a sweet thing, right? But he was verbally abusive to the staff and used vulgar language. He even said to the principal, he threatened him at one point, told him, quote, "You better put your big boy pants on."
I'm just guessing it's a divorced dad.
Doesn't say yet.
What's the story on the mom?
We don't know yet.
Yeah.
So hold on.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be the principal.
Yeah.
You're going to be the dad.
Yeah.
Can you work "you better put your big boy pants on" into a sentence, please?
Well, this guy has a little bit of a hick accent when I play the audio here, so I'll say it kind of like that. "Hey, my son's got too much homework, man. What you doing over there? You got to stop giving him all this homework. We're going to hang out. I want to throw a ball with my boy. He's going to be a scholarship."
He has to do homework, in order to get better grades.
Okay, you better put your big boy pants on before I get over there. Here's a little theater moment here on the show. I would love it if I was arguing with somebody and eventually they said, "You better put your big boy pants on."
I know you would.
Oh,
you
God.
would get at that point.
Oh, my God. By the way, Lollapalooza tickets coming up here shortly in the next 6 minutes.
Better put your big boy pants on.
That's right, if you want to win them. The school eventually stopped picking up the phone after that comment.
I would too.
But I never heard of a school not picking up the phone. What if there's another kid that a parent needed to talk to their kid and they stopped calling because he said, "Put your big boy pants on" to the principal?
There's somebody in the nurse's office with like a dastardly bloody nose and they can't get mom to pick them up. They're just calling it the worst time possible.
So then he started calling the police 18 times, allegedly. He kept calling to talk to the chief of police and said things like, quote, "I pay your salary."
Man after my own heart.
This guy's got great cliches.
Yeah, he does.
"Put your big boy pants on. I pay your salary." They did actually put him through, but he got his voicemail.
Well, that's even better because then you can save it.
Also not a good sign if you're the police chief and it's going to voicemail. I
Yeah.
want to talk to the police chief if it's an emergency.
There's something very funny about asking for the chief of police. That feels like something out of a cartoon, not something you would do in real life.
"I want to talk to the chief of police, huh?"
Andy Griffith's just scrambling for the phone.
Yeah, why isn't a regular officer okay?
Yeah.
So they finally put him through again. It went to the voicemail. They told him he could come down to the station and talk in person, though, instead of just, saying, "I pay your salary," and do it over the phone. He demanded the police chief come to his house instead.
That's a trap.
I hope he did.
Well, here's what happened. So the police did. Here's the audio I was talking about. So the police did eventually go to his house. Here's some of the part of the officer talking about beforehand. Who I have to imagine when this police officer, and there's people maybe listening out there that were in law enforcement, when he was going through the training at the academy, envisioned himself like being like a Chicago PD police officer, these intriguing cases. And he gets sent to this guy's house to tell him, "Stop calling us. Your son has to do homework, and you really don't all pay our complete salary, sir." But here's the officer talking about it first.
Basically, the parent didn't like that his child was getting homework.
I love he always says homework. He didn't like that he was getting homework. Listen how disgusted he sounds.
Basically, the parent didn't like that his child was getting homework.
He was rolling his eyes when he said that.
Yeah,
You could tell.
exactly. You could hear the eye roll. And then he continued.
So he decided he was going to call the school and call the school repeatedly over and over again. He calls dispatch, I think it was 18 times roughly.
Okay, here's the audio of the dad now calling up. Now, I don't actually know if this is the audio of him calling the police or the school. I believe it's the police he's talking to right here. Here's that audio.
I bet we'll find out.
"I want to talk to the chief. Leave a voicemail if he doesn't answer."
I'm being very nice.
Well, then come to the police department and we'll call the chief in and you can talk to him in person.
I pay for him. He can come to my house.
Well, I'm going to send some officers out to your house to talk to you in person since you won't stop calling.
Basically,
That's our guy.
That really backfired on him.
Oh, that's so good. The
She's like,
cops
"You want to
did-
talk to police? I'll have you talk to police, all right."
Did they arrest him?
So what happened is they showed up and to arrest him, they charged him with menacing and telecommunications harassment. Both are misdemeanors. Those sound like they should be a little bit harder because it's easy to call on the phone and threaten somebody. I love this guy's voice. It does sound like a cartoon character as well. Here we go again.
roughly.
I want to talk to the chief.
Leave a voicemail if he doesn't answer.
I'm being very nice.
Well, then
Are you?
Well, then come to the police department and we'll call the chief in and you can talk to him in person.
I pay for him. He can come to my house.
Well, I'm going to send some officers out to your house to talk to you in person since you won't stop calling.
I love it. I love it. Well, there you go. There's the headlines. We'll follow up as usual. We try to follow up on these stories. Sometimes there's no follow-up in case tries to dig deeper on it. But, yeah, he's got charged with that, misdemeanors, and we'll see what happens. And if his kid gets more homework or if the principal ever put his big boy pants on.
Yeah, I'm dying to know.
We will never know. We will never know.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q 101.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q 101.
It's Brian and Kenzie on Q101, a veteran of Lollapalooza, Foo Fighters. Now, if you can figure out this song scramble, you are some of the first people into Lollapalooza. We got 4-day passes here with Brian and Kenzie on Q101. Here it is. All we want is the bands, and all 3 bands performing at Q101's Lollapalooza. So let's get into it. Christine checking in from Oak Forest. Now remember, everybody listening, stay here for a couple seconds, because if Christina gets it wrong, got all wrong answers here, we will, up till this point, so we'll just put it out there for everybody, and everybody listening gets a chance to call in and win those tickets. So we go to Christina. Ahoy, Christina.
Ahoy! Good morning, everyone.
Okay, so what is in, hold on, these 3 songs. There you go. What do you got, Christina?
All right, I'm crossing my fingers here. Blink-182, The Killers, and Pierce the Veil.
That is correct!
Ooh, way to go.
Oh, my God! Oh. I'm like shaking.
I love it. You are going to Lollapalooza to see all those bands with Q101 and Brian and Kenzie.
I could kiss all of you.
Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101, and joining us from maternity leave once again, it's Kenzie.
Live from maternity leave. We need to have, can we get an intro made for that? Like a live from maternity leave, like sweeper?
Sure, we can get a live band in here to play.
Just some production. You love production. You're always bragging about how good you are at it.
I am, and I do. So, yes, we'll get that done.
Can you work on that?
Yeah, I'll work on all that while you're sitting there, doing all that stuff that you do on maternity leave. Like taking
you were
care
about
of the
to say
baby.
chillin', and then you realized that a million women would yell at you for
I
saying
know.
that.
Well, having seen Megan go through it, my wife, yes, it's the worst and the best thing ever at the same time. It's
I have
both
to
those
say,
things.
one of the best things that's ever happened to me is you being with Megan, because it has made you so helpful and understanding during all of this stuff, instead of being kind of like a stereotypical guy who hasn't experienced it. And so I'll be like, you don't even understand why I was breast pumping. You're like, oh my God, it's the worst. Like, you almost talk like a girl with me because Megan has gone through all of it.
Listen, I tried the breast pump, Kenzie. It's very uncomfortable.
I know. This is we gab about it. It's great.
My nipples got real crusty. It was terrible.
I have a good prescription for that if you need it later.
See? It is true. Thank you. So, as we go through this and work toward Kenzie getting back in, and of course, Cubs opening day broadcast, the home opener is going to be epic, and we've talked about that. I can't wait for that. But interesting stories playing out about some of the bars in Chicago with things that happen later on. Like, you think of a Wrigleyville situation. This is not Wrigleyville, though, a crazy situation after like a home opener game.
Right. Because this was because of St. Patty's Day,
yes,
I think, right?
It was. Same kind of vibe. This happened in River North at the Hubbard Inn. Legendary Chicago spot. Everybody goes through there on St. Patty's Day. Whether you are dragged there, you go there, you meet up there. Hubbard Inn is a famous
Or you don't remember
spot.
being there. I used to this year, obviously it didn't happen to me, but 2 years ago, I was looking at my stories, and I'm like, oh my God, I don't even remember being some of those places. I'm like, did I Uber? Did I walk? What happened?
Classic. It's classic. And this is wild, what's going on at the Hubbard Inn. And it went through TikTok, where a woman who's now being represented by a big Chicago law firm is saying she was, well, I'll use the quote word that she said from the Hubbard Inn, manhandled, throwing her down a flight of stairs. We'll play her audio right now. Let's do that of what she said, and then we have a plot twist after the audio.
So they are grabbing us immediately. They don't even give us a chance to walk out on our own. I'm immediately grabbed by this man, and he's grabbing my arm, he's pushing me, he's manhandling me, and what is going on? What is the issue here? Why are you guys kicking us out? Why are you screaming at us? And also, why are you grabbing me and manhandling me and dragging me, using my bag to pull me out? I'm just pushed down. He sends me flying down the staircase. Hysterical at this point. I think I start to kind of yell, scream back at him, kind of push back at him, and he takes me a second time and shoves me again and sends me flying down the rest of the staircase. It was the craziest experience I've ever been in. It was completely and utterly ridiculous how much it escalated.
And okay, so that's that part of it, the claim. What's coming up here in just 4 minutes, we'll play Evanescence. We'll come back and get the payoff, the plot twist part of it that will make you go, holy crap, holy cow. That's what really happened? We have that for you coming up in just moments here with Brian and Kenzie on Q101.
Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.
Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.
It's Brian and Kenzie on Q101. So we just played some audio. It's gone viral of a woman St. Patrick's Day weekend in Chicago going out partying, and something very bad happened to her at the Hubbard Inn, which is a place we've all been to. And here's the plot twist coming up that we'll get to in a second. But I always, in these situations when there's an accusation, a lot of times, bars are told, a lot of bars are told to be quiet when these situations come up and just wait, let the legal process play it out.
Well, I think nowadays companies immediately go towards apology. Like, they don't want any bad press, and it's like, we're sorry, we can compensate, we're going to fire the person. Like, it usually leads into that super rapidly.
Yes.
So this was like, oh my God. First off, I live for the drama. Like, I live for the tea, and I'm loving how petty this is. It's giving high school.
Well, what the plot twist is here is, it didn't happen. What
Amen.
she said happened did not happen at all, because there is video footage of everything she's saying. The Hubbard Inn grabbed their in-bar camera footage and matched it up with all the words she said. It didn't happen at all. None of it.
The best is this video, because it's her words versus what actually happened, because it's the whole video. And they do a phenomenal job with this video. So say when she's walking down the hallway and she's talking about getting dragged down the hallway, not only do they play her walking down the hallway, they then zoom in to really emphasize the security guard's hands, because they're not on her. And she talks about getting chucked down the stairs, and there she is walking down the stairs and walking out of the bar. So the only time the security guard touches her is when he taps her shoulder and points, because she doesn't know what direction to walk.
Yes.
That's it.
It is.
And he did that once or twice, because the bar has certain closed down areas. So he's pointing, just show, and that is it.
It's mind-boggling, and also bravo to the Hubbard Inn for having cameras everywhere you could in a bar, and nobody thinks that way anymore. You're being filmed in Chicago pretty much everywhere you go.
True.
But I was stunned at how accurate the footage they had.
Oh my God. Because they had every angle. Normally it would be we don't have one of that staircase or that door. Or they had every angle, which is wildly unfortunate for her. She probably thought that she'd be able to get away with something because of the different hallways and different staircases and different exits she talked about.
Yeah.
But they had every single angle covered. So I don't know if you know this, Brian, but Hubbard Inn essentially just asked her to delete her TikTok video.
Oh, okay.
So they're like, just delete it because we have proof and da-da-da. And she didn't want to do it. And then she lawyered up. And they're like, bet. And then they drop a video, and they have allegedly lawyered up also. They're like, no, we're not giving you $5,000. Because you know how that happens? Those phony, people hit you on purpose in their car to try to get that, and then companies just pay them off.
Didn't you do that once?
No, it happened to me once, though.
Oh, gee.
Don't even get me started. Florida is it's a wild, lawless place. But anyway.
Wait. I gotta stop you now, because, you got hit or someone came at you to hit you and then get money?
Yes.
Did they actually hit you physically with their car?
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, no. I mean, they hit my car, not my body.
Oh, I thought they hit you.
The lawsuit would be pretty, I don't know if they could win that one. You dented my bumper with your head. No, they did one of those moves on me. How they have nicknames for them, the swoop and squat and stuff like that. They trapped me into an accident.
I saw that in NASCAR once, the swoop and squat.
The swoop and squat. Do you know what that is?
I don't. I thought
you made it
up.
That I swear to God. No, this is real, Brian. This is my knowledge on this, because I went through it. It's when a car pulls in front of you, and their friend also it was next to you or behind you. So if you hit your brakes, no matter what, you can't move. So one goes in front and one goes to the side, and then they'll slam on their brakes, so you can't go to the side and you can't stop, and so you hit one of the cars, and then they can sue you.
Oh man,
Is that crazy?
No one wants to work anymore.
I know. So, anyways, she was trying to swoop and squat. You know what I'm saying? And so I love that they totally debunked this, because you know what's very interesting nowadays, Brian, and this has changed from when you and I were kids. People would prefer sympathy than like victory.
Yes,
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well,
like they would prefer something bad happens to them and everyone feels bad versus like good things happening.
Yeah, it's the victim mentality. I'm a victim and everybody will give me sympathy, and then I'll look like a hero that I called out a place. And this poor bar, the Hubbard Inn, small business, been there for over 12 years in that area. What people will remember later is just her TikTok and maybe not what really happened. And that's tragic. Right. That's why we're putting it on the air, because we want to make sure. Now, listen, this is going to go through a legal process, and their legal team is trying to say, well, there's gaps in the video. You're not seeing everything, and let them hash that out for a year. And
gaps in the video. What did he... Like he threw her down the stairs and picked her back up and let her walk the second time.
So.
What is
Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.
Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101. And this is some audio we've played before, got requested again, about what bro country sounds like if to people that don't like bro country. And if you don't know what that is, a lot of the country songs out there, bro country.
Give me some examples, Brian. Who are the artists?
I would say, I'm trying to think. They all have like 4 names, like together. You know what I mean?
I don't know if that's true or not.
Would Dan and Shay be bro country?
Dan and Shay are bro country.
Yeah.
Florida Georgia Line is bro country.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking of Florida Georgia Line and Dan and Shay came in.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean they're bad people or bad bands.
No.
But
Morgan Wallen.
Yeah.
Kane Brown.
Sure.
Hardy.
There you go.
These are bro country people.
And they sound like this to some people.
Jeans, beer, girl, creek, boots, truck, tan legs, train, dog, beer, Dixie cup. Got a beer in my beer and a Chevy in my truck. Got a dog at the wheel, cut off jeans truck. Dirt road, bike road, beer, moonlight, red, white, and blue, girl, Friday night. I got my boots in the dirt, got the dirt from a dirt road beneath my truck. Got the truck from my girl, she's got the dirt. I got the dirt from the dirt road. Got my girl, in the dirt. I got the dirt from the dirt road beneath my truck. Got the truck from my girl, she's got them boots and the dirt.
The harmony is ridiculous. Got my beer from my girl, my dirt from the beer.
That's going to be stuck in my head all day now.
It reminded us of a piece of audio we played before, that what Pearl Jam sounds like to people that don't like Pearl Jam.
Looking through the paper, though, and out of something that has never shown it. Oh, man, it's concrete.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.